Remember when the Ritz-Carlton opened up in downtown Portland? Yes, I said Ritz-Carlton and Portland, Oregon in the same sentence. And we all said, we'll just have to wait and see how that one does. I don't see that one really happening. It's only taken a couple of years. And now lender to the Ritz-Carlton Tower says foreclosure is the best option for the current $503 million loan. What do you think the cause of all this is? Let's get into it. Here we go. This is not a shocker in any way, shape, or form. Let's start off by where is the Ritz-Carlton in downtown Portland? It is right here. Got my little yellow friend here. Yeah. Pointer friend. Okay. And here is where you had all the protests when I was down. You've got people running around downtown Portland. You've got homelessness throughout kind of this area. It's your downtown core. You got the financial district. Then you got Old Town up to the north and east. Then you kind of got the Pearl district to the just due north. So this is downtown Portland, and it is not done well. It's one of the downtown cores that has been really hollowed out and has not come back. Seattle, same deal. Downtown San Francisco, same deal. Got it in a lot of cities, but in the bigger, more liberal cities, the effect is even worse. Walter Bowen's Block 216 is struggling, Ready Capital says. Ready Capital bought into this. Lender to Block 216, Walter Bowen's gleaming West End skyscraper, sounded an ominous note about the property in an earnings report on Monday. New York-based Ready Capital said its best strategy for the $503 million construction loan would be to take possession of the property instead of waiting for repayment. Let's see. Repayment? That is going to take forever. Let's just go ahead and take it back. After a couple of years. Ownership? This is a great statement right here. We got corporate speak going on here. We've got higher echelon corporate speak here. Ownership is the best net present value outcome for Ready Capital. Ownership is the best net present value. You don't hear that said very often on a loan package, right? Got a big loan out there. You don't often hear people say, I want to take that back, because they know that non-performance on this loan is a thing. Why do they know that? Because, we're gonna take a quick peek at the actual numbers at the Ritz-Carlton complex. And let's be clear, this isn't the Ritz-Carlton going bankrupt. This isn't their loan being called into play. It's the loan on the development. But they're the anchor tenant. They're the reason this development exists, right? We got Ritz-Carlton on the hook. I mean, who thought that a Ritz-Carlton would be a great idea in downtown Portland? The two just don't go together. You've got this, let homelessness live wherever. Drugs, you betcha, not a problem. Downtown, oh yeah, love the homeless on drugs. Who thought that? And then an exclusive, expensive, top-tier brand like the Ritz-Carlton that's famous for $500,000, $1,500 a night, hotel rooms. And let's just put it in an area where you've got known encampments, you got known people walking around, bashing out windows, stealing from cars, all that good stuff that you find in a downtown core. And let's go ahead and put a Ritz-Carlton there. It should work out just swimmingly, right? All right. While the original strategy was to finance the construction into a bridge loan, that one right there, okay, you got a construction loan. How long has that been? Is this thing still outstanding? Is this still in a construction loan? Into a bridge loan. This is the original strategy. Construction into a bridge loan. Okay. All right. Why you're going into a bridge loan instead of a permanent loan, I don't know, but whatever. The current appraisal and other factors favored ownership. The current appraisal was so low. The appraisal they got was so low. There's so little equity in this property, if any. Maybe negative. Maybe this is a short sale. Who knows, right? It's so low that other factors favored ownership and serial asset disposition on the components as the best net present value outcome. What in the hell does that all mean? Well, the author goes in to say, translation, foreclose on the 35-story building and sell it in chunks. Boop. Sell that part of the loan off. We got any biters? Got any takers on this really nice building in downtown Portland? Don't worry. Downtown Portland's on the comeback. I mean, it's coming back. It's coming, slowly, but it's coming back. So people are saying about Seattle. What do we got going on in Seattle? We got the Cheesecake Factory leaving downtown Seattle. You've got a downtown core that has millions and millions and millions of people visiting it in Seattle, but the Cheesecake Factory is leaving. Why is that? How does that work? Well, because you've got some areas in these big cities that tend not to do all that great. Because you got a bunch of Looney Tunes running around and you have no game plan for actually containing said Looney Tunes. Block 216 is ground floor retail, 5 floors of office space, a Ritz-Carlton hotel, and Ritz-Carlton residences. Those are the condos. Ready Capital acquired the Block 216 loan in March of 2022. Bet they're regretting that about now. When it bought Mosaic Real Estate Credit LLC, the building's original construction lender. All right, so they took over for somebody else. So by acquisition, they took over this project. Like so many downtown towers, Block 216 has struggled to land office tenants. Just 23% of the office space is leased. All right. So you've got, let's call it 75% vacancy factor. Ooh, and that's over the 5 floors. Okay. Nor has Bowen been able to sell many of the 132 Ritz-Carlton condominiums. Only 8% have sold. Of the 132, I believe the magic number is 12 have been sold. 12. Not a huge number. What's your sellout ratio? It is not good. Not good. Only 8% have sold, according to Ready Capital's earnings report, at an average of $1,100 per foot. The hotel is underperforming too. Shocker, Ready Capital said. Its average revenue per available room was $188 in 2024. I want to talk about that for a second. You're getting a Ritz-Carlton hotel room that's essentially brand new because so few people have stayed in it. And you're getting a room, I don't care what kind of room it is, for $188. That is an absolute screaming bargain. But then you're staying in downtown Portland. So, if you got to stay there, maybe you want to check out the Ritz and just roll the dice, see how your car does in the parking garage. Should be fine. Go ahead. Stay there, right? I stayed there one night, not in the Ritz-Carlton, but I don't know. What was it? Was it a Hilton? Decent, nice, high-rise hotel. My son Brendan and I were up on the whatever floor. It was cool. You had awesome views back to the east of Mount Hood, Mount St. Helens. It was cool. Willamette River, epic views. But I chose it because I was within a couple of blocks of the riots that were happening nightly. So you've got this amazing geography and you've got what arguably some people call a cool downtown, but you got a bunch of people running around and you've got street level conditions that aren't great. Not great, but $188, I'd stay there just because it's under $200, compared with $343, the average for all Ritz-Carlton hotels during the same period. Chains owned by Marriott International. I like Marriott. It's a good hotel chain. Ready Capital said it plans to stabilize the 3 components of the angular glass tower, commercial, condo, and hotel, then sell the office space and hotel portion within 2 years. Unloading the condos will take 3 years, Ready Capital said. Oh, can you say discounts? Who's going to buy those? Who wants a condo in downtown Portland where nobody's working? This used to be a genius idea when everybody was working from downtown. But that is just not the case anymore. And big projects like this take the brunt of it, right? Neither Block 216 management nor Bowen's company, BPM Real Estate Group, returned calls. Not shocking. All right, here's the one bright spot, the author says. The retail space where a food hall called Flock opened in January, 100% leased up. Got a lot of restaurants in there, a lot of little restaurants. They're doing swimmingly. They're doing great. 2 thumbs up to that. The other 500 and whatever million portion of the loan, not so good. not so good. So even Oregon Live commented, lender weighs foreclosure of Block 216 tower that houses Portland's Ritz-Carlton. I mean, who was the genius that literally came up with Portland's an up-and-comer? Let's go there. I mean, you had to have seen some of the downtown stuff going on, right? This didn't all happen just as the pandemic unfolded. This was ongoing. So do you just roll those dice and hope for the best? I think that's what you do. I think that's what these developers have done. And now they may be regretting that decision just a scooch. I don't think there was anything else here that was of major, no. Yeah. Mainstream media was just like, whatever. All right, let's take a quick look at when the Ritz-Carlton was first developed. First Ritz-Carlton coming to the new 35-story downtown Portland. Now let's read. All right. This landmark project is a game changer for Ritz-Carlton brand and the city of Portland. Just not the way that they thought it would be, right? Said Noah Silverman, Chief Development Officer, North American Full-Service Hotels at Marriott International. The Ritz-Carlton Portland will set a new standard for luxury hospitality in Portland. It did. It has. It will continue to do so, we think. But just not the way that you think it will. New standard means, our building, it's in foreclosure. The owners decided they need to take it back because that's the only pathway forward. Can't sell it, got no equity, can't really foreclose on it because, there's not a lot of options. So they're just going to take it back and work their way out of it. Ritz-Carlton will expand this iconic brand of the Pacific Northwest and introduce locals to the refined elegance and amenities associated with the Ritz-Carlton residents' lifestyle. All right. Okay. Yep. I hear that. Here is the Daily Mail. Decision to open stunning Ritz-Carlton hotel in downtown Portland in 2023 backfires spectacularly. I mean, this is not a shocker in any way, shape, or form. Look at it, though. Look at how pretty it is. I mean, that bad boy, that is a nice looking building. Here's your first 5 floors of commercial here. And down on the ground level, you've got that food kind of court deal going on. I mean, it looks like it's super nice. I remember looking at it thinking, yep, that's a Ritz. I've only stayed in a Ritz one time. It was on Kapalua and Maui. And if you want to stay at a Ritz-Carlton, I say go for it. If that's your thing, if that makes you happy. But I think they're too fancy. They're just flat out too fancy for my taste. I want to be able to run around and not feel like I'm, ruining everything by getting a footprint or a fingerprint or whatever on the complex. I want to be able to have fun and just do my thing. I don't want to have to worry about, oh, good Lord, this is all so nice that I don't want to touch anything. I mean, look at this. And a couple of blocks away, guaranteed, you got people sleeping on the sidewalk, pooping on the sidewalk. Just doing their thing, bipping cars. So we don't call it bipping in Portland. We call it breaking and entering. Yeah, we call it daily life to get your next fix for fentanyl. I mean, either is super nice, and you've got these big, huge views because you don't have a bunch of tall buildings right there, blocking all these views. But is it enough to make it go? Clearly, it's not. I mean, this is a big upper end project, and it really stood out when it was first developed. The fact that it's gone sideways this quickly is not a shocker, and yet I thought we'd go 3-4 years before this happened. But the numbers speak for themselves, right? You got 8% of your 12% of your 8% of your total condos purchased, 12 units total. That's where I was getting those numbers mixed up. I mean, that's not good. If you are a new construction development and you've only got 12 of your units sold after finishing product 2 years ago, going with occupancy permits 2 years ago with multiple of these units, they're not going to build a bunch of them out because that's going to take time. But who's going to wait? Who's going to wait for this to be developed out and get that cash flow coming through? Nobody. And the builder, that's the beauty of this story, is that the builder isn't going to go for, they are not going with, you know what, we're going to bring in an equity partner, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. They're just basically saying, yeah, we're gonna barbarians at the gate it. We're gonna take it over in a hostile takeover. Now they're just taking their own debt back, right? Taking ownership back, and basically saying we're gonna have to figure this out on our own, because this bad boy isn't figuring itself out on its own, because there's no money coming in. It's a bad deal. But when you build a massive, 5-star hotel in an area that doesn't warrant it, that's where you've got this misguided direction of leadership in Portland relative to the marketplace, which would be just walk around and see what's going on. Does this look like it could support that kind of project? At one time, maybe it could. 2019, before things really went to, took a tank in Portland. Maybe it could have back then. Maybe that was, big conversation. But again, you look around and you go, this isn't really going in the right direction. And these aren't issues that the city of Portland, we're talking about Portland here. Have you seen the people that are on the city council? Have you seen the prior leadership? I mean, it's a spectacular fail all around. This is just, you are literally watching in real time the failure of progressive policy. That's what you are watching. Ritz-Carlton is failing because of progressive policy layered on top of a pandemic, layered on top of terrible decisions to decriminalize drugs, let people live wherever, give them money for whatever, basically build it and they will come. They have criminal actions. We're not really dealing with those because that'd be racist, letting that happen. And you've got this culture that doesn't support a Ritz-Carlton, let alone the commercial needed to make all of that go. You got to have a lot of people running around to make this go, to make all those little businesses. I'm just going to drop in here. I'm going to take my Louis Vuitton wallet out and I'm just going to buy this here. That's what all those businesses need. You don't have that. And you don't have that in most big cities right now. That's why there's such a massive push for everybody to get their workers back into the downtown core. We need that tax revenue. We need those dollars, going into businesses in the downtown core. So Ritz-Carlton, it'll stay open. It's not going anywhere. I mean, not yet anyway, right? But those folks that are responsible for the underlying debt on this project, they've already said, we out of here. Meaning they're going to go ahead. They're not out of there. They are literally in it for the haul, but they are in it for the haul to get out, right? They're recognizing it right now, their quarterly earnings. This debt is such a big portion of their, I think, overall business plan that that's where they're at. They need to deal with this sooner than later. They're going to take it back, chunk it off. We'll see how that goes. We will report back to you. Thanks again for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the like button for this video if you found it entertaining, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.